Needless to say, 2020 has been an interesting year. It's caused us to change our plans, create new plans, find new alternatives. The same has been the case in broadcasting live athletic events. We now see announcers, some broadcasting remotely. Matter of fact, last week I saw Kevin Harlan broadcasting a college basketball game from an elaborate setup in the basement of his home. Well, I was watching a college football game recently, and at this game, the announcers were up in the booth and there was a sideline reporter. And right in the middle of the game, all of a sudden there was silence. And then the sideline reporter said, "We've lost the connection to the announcers." And then she did the best she could to try to provide some play-by-play coverage until that connection got restored. Now, also in the past month, in a college basketball game, we saw the same thing occur. All of a sudden, sideline reporter Holly Rose said, "We've lost the connection to Dan Shulman and Jay Billis." But then Holly Rowe, who's an incredibly talented reporter and broadcaster, began to provide great play-by-play. Now, how was she able to do that? Well, as a veteran reporter for over 20 years, even though she would be doing sideline reporting, she has always prepared a play-by-play game chart like the play-by-play announcers always do, with players' names and numbers and their statistics. She was prepared and always has been for the last 20 years, prepared in the event that something just like this would occur. And so when it did, she was prepared. You know, now that I've left college basketball coaching and moved into the business world as a senior leader, I take the game planning that I did in basketball and apply it the same way in leading a company. You've got to do that. You've got to have a strategic plan with depth, a strategic plan that looks at alternative plans that might be needed. Is the market changing in such a way? Is our competitor now doing something a bit different that requires us to change what we're doing? See, when you create a game plan in basketball, you certainly prepare for what you want to do in the game. But then you also have to take time to think through what your competitor might be doing, what they might try to do differently. And you've got to try to anticipate that. You also have to try to create some alternative planning because the game situation may cause a change in your game plan. So as a business leader, I want to ask you, how much time are you spending on a daily and a weekly basis to reflect on your current situation, your current plan, your current strategic and tactical plan? And what are alternatives you need to be anticipating? What are alternatives that you need to have in place so that just like Holly Rowe, if something happens, you're prepared for it and you don't miss a stride? We've got to take time as leaders to do that. We've got to have that kind of plan so that we can anticipate those kind of changes in the market or changes in the competition.